breakup. Have you guys been through that before? I bet all of us here have experienced it. Just like I break these chopsticks, I was once break something important in my life. But no, if you're expecting me to say something cheesy like romantic breakups, sorry to disappoint you, but instead, you can lay back and get yourself a popcorn because I'm going to present to you Fatia's friendship breakups. Now, let me take you to the first chapter, the beginning. Let's call her Sarah. We used to be a best friend, and we were inseparable, just like two peas in a pod. But as close as we are, in fact, we were quite the polar opposite. She is kind, warm, and friendly, and she connected with people through her heart. She felt so deeply. And I, on the other hand, you could say that I'm the less friendly version of her. I am selfish, arrogant, sarcastic, and yeah, you can name the rest. At first, I thought our differences could work. Like yin and yang, we could balance each other out. But I felt at to see the cracks start forming between us. And just like that, we next to the chapter 2, the loss. And yet we end up like this, split up. And why because of that? It's because one day she confronted me about how my action hurt her. She told us that I am making her feel uncomfortable. And then I immediately say sorry. Because let's be honest, guys, when someone calls you out, what is your first instinct? Of course you try to defend yourself, right? So I did it. I got offended and tried to make an excuse. I said, yes, Sarah, I am so sorry, but I only did that because blah, 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 blah. You know when she realized you're messed up? Well, that was it. I can't unring the bell. And then she replied with words that broke my heart. Fatia, you know what is your problem? You never want to admit your fault. And that feels like she slapped me on my face. And because of that, we move on to the hardest chapter of this journey, which is the chapter 3, the realization. This moment made me realize that communication isn't just important. It is everything in relationship. We hear it all the time, right? Communication is the key. You need to communicate better. And yet, no one tells us how. What I felt at, and most of us did, is what makes communication truly effective. Without it, even the strongest bond can break. Her words forced me to reflect. I used to think that making mistakes is a sign of a weakness. At school, we were often taught that whenever we make a mistake, they view us as something stupid, and we should be ashamed of it. But then, soon I realized that mistake isn't something you should be ashamed of, isn't something you should avoid, but you can view it as a stairs to climb up and be part of your growth. No child gets the first walk without falling first, right? Later, I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. One chapter struck me. It called If You're Wrong, Admit It. And explained about the art of saying sorry. Well, it made so much sense. Most of us don't apologize. We just say sorry to end an argument quickly. And don't you dare to deny it, because I did a lot. And yeah, the author explained about why we often avoid it. And can you guess what it is? This, pride. Yes, as simple as pride. Well, pride might help you win an argument, but at what cost? Is it worth to lose someone you love just because you want to protect this? If you think so, let's get her up, because I want to tell you something. Foolish people justify their mistakes, and most of them do. But the truth, only the strongest one can admit their own fault. Well, apologizing, maybe you feel, at first you might feel like vulnerable, disappointed of what you did, but you forget something important. The satisfaction of gaining forgiveness from people. No, they don't see you those negative thoughts in your head, like you're weak or you're stupid. But instead, they're proud of you. They appreciate you because you want to take the responsibility. And deep down, none of those people can do what we do, can let their pride get hurt. So now, let me ask you something. When the time comes, will you protect your pride and repeat my mistakes? Or you're going to find the person you hurt and say, I'm sorry, truly. And now the choice is in your hand, and all I can say is, good luck. Thank you for listening to me.